the Causeway going into town. It's really pretty. So is it always like this, or is the tide out?
It's the tide out.
Okay.
At this time, it's the tide out.
In Dublin on the beaches with the tide out, you can walk for a mile out
Mile.
into the Irish Sea.
Wow.
You just have to be really careful not to get caught. Otherwise, you'll be swimming for a while. But it's beautiful like this.
Nice.
When people come from the United States or anywhere from Europe, Canada, how do you help them figure out if Panama is the right place, or if it's just better to be the favorite place to visit?
It will depending of if you're coming here to live in Panama. Sometimes we compare to their city, to their prices, to the economical prices if you're retired. Also comparing to the insurance, medical insurance, compared to the States here in Panama, it's 100 times cheaper. And when I tell you 100 times, it's 100 times cheaper. And also we have the Johns Hopkins Hospital, that it's an American hospital as well.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful with one of the best hospitals. I had a surgery there about 3 years ago. Amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
What part of town is that hospital in?
It's in Punta. They have one that it's in Punta Pacifica, and the other one it's located, that is the brand new one, in Costa del Este.
And have we seen either of those areas with what you've shown me?
In Punta Pacifica, we're going close by that area,
Okay.
and in Costa del Este, you have to take the highway. It's a little bit farther from the city,
Okay.
but it's another type of area. I will advise you, if you need to rent a car, Costa del Este will not be the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be a little bit farther away. The other thing is that to go to Costa del Este, it will be 15 to 20 minutes by the highway. So you have to pay every day 2 tickets to go to there and 2 tickets to go out. So it's not only the gasoline, so
Right,
it's
tolls.
yeah. And sometimes the rush hour traffic in the highway,
It's all that
which
time.
it's time. It's time.
I'd actually contacted Hopkins about going and working in the hospital, and my Spanish isn't good enough yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe work on my Spanish.
You will go there.
I'll enjoy it.
Yeah. I have met some clients that after 4 months they are speaking very good Spanish.
I actually was just listening to a program for a guy yesterday who's, I understood everything he said in Spanish already, so he's just working on, I think he focuses on the 14 most important verbs
Yeah.
first, and counts on your kindness of people who are at least trying
Okay.
to speak the language and then figuring out the right things later.
The only thing is that here in Panama, for example, Panama it's a hub, so there's a lot of people that they comes from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Spain,
Very
from
different
Brazil.
Spanish.
Yeah, so the Spanish are very different. The accent as well is very different from other countries.
I think that was one of the things that was a problem for me growing up, because in high school my teacher was from Cuba.
Yeah, his Spanish is totally different.
Right. And then my teacher in college for one semester was Spain.
Oh,
And he hated,
totally
he
different.
hated my Spanish. And then my last professor was from Peru,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. I'm like, okay, I like you. Like, gracias, muchas gracias, thank you, muchas gracias, señor. It did take a group effort for any of us to pass the Spanish 3 exam, though. Like, that was too hard for any of us to pass. So he let us do it together.
Also, the people from Spain, they have a lot of slangs.
Yes.
A lot.
It's like the American, the hair of the dog.
Yeah.
It's like some people know that means, being drunk or having a hangover.
Yeah.
But not everybody.
Not everybody, that's correct.
Like, that translation would not go well.
So they use a lot of slangs. Even for us that actually we speak Spanish accent, we the Spanish language.
And you're like, what?
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Or you just let it go because you don't really want to pursue the topic. Like, yeah, we'll let that slide.
Yeah.
I hear you. So, okay, this is going to sound like a strange question because I don't know how else to phrase it.
Please don't worry.
Okay. Do you know what continent Panama belongs to?
Panama belongs to America, right?
Well, there are two Americas, North America and South America.
It's in Central America.
Right, but Central America isn't a continent.
So it's in America.
Okay, which one, North or South?
It will be South America.
Okay. So thank you for proving my point, because it took me more than a month to figure out that Central America is actually a subcontinent of North America.
Yeah.
And it was really hard because I was in the Middle East, and I was trying to figure out before I left what continent is the Middle East part of.
Wow.
Because it's not Africa,
Yeah.
and it's not Europe,
It's the Middle East.
but it doesn't feel like Asia because it's the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
It is Western Asia.
It's Western Asia.
Right. So when I was
Wow.
in Jordan, I said, "You're Asian, right?" And the guy looked at me and he says, "Of course." Like I was an idiot. Like, what else would I be? Like, okay, just checking, because it took me a lot of work to figure that out. So Central America is North America, and the Middle East is Asia.
Oh.
So see why my brain gets hurt?
Yeah. And when you try to apply to a job here in the Johns Hopkins, they ask you for a requirements paper, because I have seen actually a lot of Americans.
For the Spanish or for the degrees?
No. I was just talking the subject because when I went to the hospital about 3 years, I noticed that most of the hospital, most of the actually doctors, they were not Latinos. They were, I don't know if maybe they were from, I don't know if maybe they were Americans or Canadians or from England.
Right.
But I know that actually they were not from here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it might be that it's a very coveted position to travel here. And Hopkins is in Baltimore, which is, I'm from Maryland. So I love the state, but Baltimore is traditionally the toughest city in the entire state. It's the crime is high, and there are all kinds of challenges, but they've improved greatly.
Nice.
So it's just interesting. But it's actually, the university is where I wanted to go to school when I was a child.
Nice.
But I got accepted to medical school at 15, so I went to that instead.
Very young age.
Very young age. For America, it's very young. I know in
Very young.
other places that it's not uncommon to do, like to start at 16 and go to a 6-year program.
It's very young age.
But that's not what happened in the States. So I didn't do Hopkins then, but how funny would it be if I finished my career here at Hopkins in Panama?
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty neat.
That would be awesome.
That would be like coming full circle. Very poetic.
You're a writer.
Yes.